What's up and welcome to My Point of View. I am your fat and opinionated host, and as I look around, I can't help but notice that there are several big companies out there that seem as if they are desperate to become the next Bud Light. From Ford to North Face to Target, you name it, it's obvious that these companies have not learned their lesson. In fact, I think they have seen everything that's going on with Bud Light and they have decided to double down. They think we're bluffing. They decided to double down to smack us in the face even further because they're upset that the boycott of Bud Light has been so effective. So instead of learning from Bud Light's mistakes, they're doubling down and even going harder with pushing this propaganda. Now, when it comes to places like Ford and North Face, I don't think these pride campaigns are necessary, but I'm not going to sit here and fight every company that has a pride campaign because in reality, pride clothing is not my enemy. It's not like I don't have a problem with pride clothing. I mean, I think it's weird that you want to represent your sexuality and whatever kinks and stuff you may be into. I think it's weird that you want that represented on your t-shirts and stuff and your socks. And you know what I mean? I think that's weird. I think it's even weirder that you would dress up your kids in pride clothing so they can represent your sexuality and not necessarily theirs, or, you know, have clothing representing any sexuality. It's weird. And for the life of me, I can't necessarily understand it. You know, I thought the whole purpose was to normalize, different ways of life and different sexualities. I thought the whole purpose was for acceptance. And we should all be viewed as equality. So when I see people wearing clothing trying to stand out, like, hey, everyone, look at me, I'm gay, look at my shirt. That makes me think oh, you're not necessarily caring about equality or being viewed as equal. You want to stand out, which defeats the whole purpose of what this movement used to supposedly be about. I have no problem with what sexuality you may have. I think that we should all just coexist normally, and you shouldn't have to virtue signal about who you screw every day. I shouldn't have to wear a shirt that lets you know what I like to do with women and stuff. What's the point? It's weird. But these people are obsessed with their sexuality. Now, the reason I have a problem with Target, I don't necessarily agree with all the stuff that's going on in other companies, but where I step in is when I feel like kids are being targeted. And make no mistake about it, Target is targeting kids. They've had their pride section for years. I always felt like it was unnecessary. Yes, I think it's weird that you have pride clothing for toddlers. I think it's even weirder that parents want to dress up their kids and that stuff. But if that's your thing, then fine. The reason why people are stepping up now is because it's no longer pride clothing. Now it's trans and satanic. Literally, they had a freaking satanic dude that worships the devil and makes shirts with the Baphomet on it. That's who is designing a lot of these kids' pride clothing for Target this year. And Target this year decided that it wanted to sell bathing suits for kids with special stuff within the bikini so you could tuck your dick and balls. And they're selling it to kids along with chest binders. Now, doing this, tucking or chest binding, it's really bad for your health. It leads to various health issues in the future and down the line. So when Target decided that it wanted to release children's clothing that can harm them, all to push a certain propaganda or to push a certain message, that's when it becomes a problem. And that's why now, after all of these years, you see people finally stepping up and saying something about what Target is doing, because it has reached another level. No longer is it just shirts with rainbows. Now it's shirts with the Baphomet telling people that they should change their gender. And here's a little rope for you to tie your balls behind your butt crack when you go swimming. I mean, I'm sorry for being so graphic, but that's the reality of what we're dealing with. It sounds outlandish, but this is what is being sold at Target. Because Target is targeting your kids. And now, due to the backlash, they're having secret meetings, just like Bud Light, to figure out what to do now. They're in panic mode. They're losing money. People are already vowing to never shop there again. And I can tell you right now, I'm being honest, I don't know if this boycott of Target or this Target backlash will be like the backlash that we see with Bud Light, because Bud Light is so easily replaceable. And for some people, Target's like the only place for them to shop in town. So I understand that the backlash with Target is going to be different, but make no mistake about it, I think we already witnessed the straw that broke the camel's back. What you're watching right now is people being fed up. You're watching people who for years and years and years sat by silently. They allowed to live and let live, just don't bother us, do whatever you want, and now they're realizing that that has real life effects. And they're realizing that it's gone off the rails. It's no longer about being who you want to be and living your life. It's about forcing other people to accept your way of life and forcing their kids to live your way of life. And that's why people have a problem. So I don't want people to sit here and lie as if everyone's been upset about the Pride clothing, because people have sat by for a decade. Pride clothing has been everywhere and no one said anything until the Pride started coming after the kids. It really quickly went from accepting, like marriage and gay people to, oh, now you got to accept someone who identifies as a dog and has 45 different pronouns, and you got to know what pronouns they use that day. This, that, and the third. It's gone too far off the rails, and people are now standing up. Target made a very big mistake. They thought the people were bluffing. They tried to call the bluff, and now they realize that people aren't bluffing. Right now is a very bad time. People are already riled up. People have, for the first time in a long time, seen the power that they have. And make no mistake about it, we hold the power when it comes to these situations. We could talk and vote with our money and put our money where our mouth is, and we could help these businesses collapse. I find it funny that Target has been getting looted and trashed in inner cities all across America nonstop, to the point that they've had to shut down so many locations. Yet they're still trying to cater to people who don't even shop there. Listen, I don't think any of the gay people I know would even buy Pride clothing at Target. Most gay people that I know, at least, are pretty stylish, and I don't think they would even want to wear that nonsense anyway. So it's not like they're selling boatloads of this merchandise. No, they come, they put that merchandise right in front of the store, and they make sure your kids have to walk right by it. When they go look at Barbies or Legos, they make sure that Pride stuff is right there front and center. And guess what? All of that Pride stuff sits there for months. It never gets sold. It gets taken off the shelves. Every time I go to Target, I see normal people shopping in all of the normal sections, and then you see that one person with blue hair who scraped up $9 to buy a Pride shirt at Target because they're insecure with themselves and they think blasting their sexuality on their t-shirt gives them more self-worth. But let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. And as always, remember to remain opinionated.